Aloha. I wanted to share this example of the cartoons for adults consciousness advertisement in a crossword puzzle. This is a crossword in the house, and I remember seeing these little ads in there, but I hadn't really looked at it and read it until with this eye now, and it was just like the most obvious example of what I was saying in the last few videos. Also, side note, for people who are paying attention to views being missed or lost and subscribers being removed from channels, there's an average of 3 to 5 subscribers that get removed from my channel per upload. It's probably more than that, but just from my loose observation of videos over time, because I upload quite a few amount of videos regularly, like on a daily basis. But yesterday I think I uploaded like 4 videos and my subscriber rate was at 12,915, and this morning I woke up, it was at 12,888. So I mean, somebody could obviously be like, well, maybe your content was just so horrible that you lost 20 subscribers or over 20 subscribers in one night. You know, maybe you could be like that. Then maybe that's true. But you would have to also ignore the fact that every single video is the same thing. At least 3 to 5 subscribers within the first 24 hours are removed per video. Other channels have seen this too. It's not like a thing that's happening. So I don't really care anymore. The subscribers are what they are anyway. It doesn't matter to me. The content stays the same. If we upload all these videos daily, should we go down to underneath 10,000 subscribers, I wouldn't give a fuck then anyway. It wouldn't matter. But just know, if you're paying attention to that, and if you have your own YouTube channel, that's going on. I'm seeing about 3 to 5. But I noticed it really, like, you can look at it now, because I was looking forward to hitting 13,000. So in the last 900, I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. Keep clunking along against all their algorithms. It don't matter. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that real quick. So back to the cartoons for consciousness, the adult cartoons for consciousness, cartoons for adults consciousness, the sword of delightfulness. So this is a really perfect example of the sword of delightfulness, specifically relating to the colonial agenda. This is obviously focused on older people who play crossword puzzles, and older people are gonna die soon, right? So what do the people who are still here have to do? They gotta make a profit off the people's deaths. They gotta make a fucking profit off of their deaths. So what do they have to do to make a profit off of people dying? Well, first of all, before we get there, let's see the name of this. Colonial pen, like colonial penitentiary. That's how I see it. But colonial, like everlasting pen, like this. This is what this advertisement is. This advertisement means that you're gonna have financial problems even after your fucking death. Like, after you die, you're gonna be thinking about your grandkids having to pay for your burial services and all that shit. Like, that's what this is how this system steals your time and makes you fear yourself into your own living purgatory, in your mind. But they're telling you, they're providing you a service. They really give a fuck about you. The colonial system cares so much about you that they care about you even after you die. So they want to give you insurance. They're giving you a service. They're doing this for you. They're not getting $10 a month from, hundreds of thousands of people for nothing, pretty much. And they're not going to default on these insurance claims. They're not going to try like how there's you get housing insurance or home insurance, but it doesn't cover like earthquakes. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the biggest thing. Your home is destroyed at the most when you have a fucking earthquake. So why the fuck is there a clause in most home insurance claims that earthquakes are not covered? Because it's all a big racket. These are big ass gangsters. That's what I'm saying. The reason why people aren't really talking about the deep truth is because people still trust these gangsters, these pirates. They still think that these pirates and gangsters have anything to do with them. Like, that they think they're going to help them in some kind of way. These gangsters and pirates don't give a fuck about you. You're less than an ant to them. Your only existence, they're only allowing you to stay alive because your robot life is beneficial to their opulent lifestyle. As long as you're dumb and ignorant and thinking that you're free and, you know, rich and you got your shit together, you know, they can remain gods and kings over you. That's why I said this is why you have to be kept in an adolescent consciousness, like watching cartoons for a living. That's why Logan Paul is famous. This is why, you know, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are famous. Those are man children. Owen Benjamin, these are man children. They ain't got the slightest ounce of any kind of knowing what's going on the street level or what's going on outside of their white supremacist empirical dominance over the whole fucking world. They're still trying to protect that world as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. No different than Alex Trebek being put on a fucking death insurance paper. Look at this shit. Why is Alex Trebek on here? Because Alex Trebek caters to old people who are getting ready to die. He's not even, they just use his face. Like, they had to pay Alex Trebek just to use his face. This is the power of that whole cartoon for adults consciousness. He's just called a compensated endorser. That's all he is. His face. So he's the perfect face for what I was talking about. That passive aggressive nice man, nice white man. Like, just trust me. Like, they can't put a picture of ODB on here. They wouldn't be able to put a picture of, you know, Keep the Sneak on here and say, oh, compensated endorser. No. They had to put Alex Trebek. Why? Because people trust this guy. They trust old white men. And specifically, they trust old smart white men. And who's the old smartest white man well known around? Well, the motherfucker who runs Jeopardy for the last 40 years. That's who the smartest old white man is. So they have to put him next to Colonial Penitentiary Life Insurance, or what is this shit? What's it called? Act now to help ease worries and the potential financial burden on your loved ones. So pay $10 a fucking month until you die. Like hoping that you don't miss that payment, so they hurry up and give Colonial Penitentiary gives your family some money to bury your ass. And they got to get the face of trust, the face of colonialism, the face of niceties, the face of the colonial or the cartoons for consciousness. It's basically like the video that I went in breaking this down was a video where I called it was a Tom Hanks algorithm, or the Tom Hanks. It's something to deal with Tom Hanks. If you type in this channel's name, So Infinity plus Tom Hanks, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's the same way they use Alex Trebek in this video, the same way they use Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is like the golden boy of Hollywood. So he's like the golden boy of colonial white supremacy. He's the one that makes everybody trust what's being said. So he's used on commercials, cartoons, movies, the same way they use certain people in documentaries, like Morgan Freeman. He's used to do the documentary about life and God and all that other stuff. And then they use David Attenborough to sell you like Planet Earth and the Blue Planet documentaries, all the National Geographic documentaries. They use those voices because they represent the voice of racism, white supremacy. Like that trustworthy, like that same reason why they hired or bought Alex Trebek's face to put on this life insurance or death insurance thing. So that's what I wanted to share with this video. Just a quick breakdown, another example of the shit that people in the so-called truther community are avoiding. What about the truth of this shit? What about the truth of Alex Trebek's face being used to sell, you know, your grandmother a casket? You know, like, so that's why I said, like, they're like, yeah, you should do this. We're here for you. We want to help you. You know, like, how much money are they getting from scaring the shit out of people in crossword puzzles about their upcoming death? Like, how many days and years and hours are they shaving from people by installing this fear of death in their fucking crossword puzzles? This shit is happening on television. Watch those channels that you don't usually watch. Like, watch those local channels, like the Oakland channel, like KTOP, or no, that's like the one that just shows like city jobs and shit. Like, watch those channels that show like old TV shows like Chips and MASH and you know, the Golden Girls, whatever channel that those TV shows come on. Watch them and watch the commercials. See, so the same thing like this insurance ad is the same thing like the medical commercial that you see all the time. You think lawyers are got your back? You think that's your focus when you see, like, have you suffered from mesothelioma? Have you been compensated? Have you been hospitalized for this? And you should contact, you know, the law tigers or some shit, whatever the fuck they are. You know, they're for something else. I think they're for like accidents on the road or whatever. But like, you know what I'm talking about. They're like, contact us lawyers because, you know, you could have been sick and we're going to help you. Like, wait a second. What about the side effects of, what about how people get sick from watching these fucking commercials all day? There's a sickness that comes from being inundated by this mesothelioma type of, you know, commercialism every single moment of the day. People are watching commercials more than they're watching any TV show. That's what I'm talking about, is the psychological warfare. That's the war for your mind. That's the war that truthers are not really talking about. That's the biggest shit that's going on. That's not really frustrating, but it's kind of like the driving force behind a lot of these videos. It's like the truth that's spoken about in the truther community is like accepted truth. It's that truth that has a like an organic tag on it, like like a natural foods tag on it. It's like, wait a second, get the fuck out of that truther Safeway, get out of that truther Walmart for a moment and start looking at the information yourself. Stop buying big box truth. That's what it is. Big box truth. You're at Costco buying your truth, and what happens when you buy that truth at Costco, you gotta eat that box of mayonnaise for the next fucking 5 months because you got 10 pounds of mayonnaise truth for the next 10 months. You're eating that shit. Why? Because you fucking bought it. You better eat that shit. You bought that shit. Oh, you bought that Alex Trebek Costco mayonnaise ass. Don't be fucking living your life. Be afraid of death. Pay $10 a month to die fucking ass truth. That's what you're getting right now. And you got, and the way you got into that Costco was by using those play school ass truth keys to get in there. But the keys don't only work for them Costco truth ass places. You can't use those keys to get into truth anywhere else. You got to get it from somewhere else. Get the fuck out of that big box truth and start thinking for yourself. Because these motherfuckers don't give a shit about you. In fact, they will sell you death insurance on your deathbed. This is what's happening right now. And they will put a smiling face on you. And then people say that this truth is of no matter. It's right here. This is 2019. I didn't make this. I didn't print this fucking ad. This is a new crossword puzzle. Look how old Alex Trebek is. This is relatively recent. The colonial mind control program is alive and well. And that truth That information and all that truth surrounding that reality is taboo for the fucking truth community. Why? Because largely the truth community is run by so-called white people who are uncomfortable with talking about these issues. So their main thing, whether it's happening subconsciously or consciously, is to distract you from this kind of information, from the truth that doesn't expose the infrastructure of racism, white supremacy within the entire power grid. So it will focus on the Jews, it will focus on aliens, extraterrestrials, on the so-called positive end, like I was saying in the New Age video recently. It will focus on, like, yeah, you're not white, you're not black. We're all Pleiadians. We're from the Orion star system. We're from the Pleiades. We're from the Andromeda galaxy. We're from this. We're from that. Like anything to run away from what's happening here. Anything to run away. Because like I said, the New Age is an escape mechanism. Once it starts being used for what it's being used now, it's an escape mechanism. Because it's really just like a place to go and learn more about yourself. And then once you get to learning about yourself by yourself, you have to learn about yourself with other people. And you can't learn about yourself with other people when you're in your safety net of this is just all it's about. You know, like you convince yourself, oh, it's just about this. Well, you're not free. Like I said in the video, nobody's free until everybody's free. But in the New Age community, you can convince yourself that you're free as long as you stay in that bubble. And that's what I'm saying is the problem right now. The same thing is happening not even in the New Age community. In regular life, all the people who are benefiting from redlining, the Homestead Act, the head right system, racism, white supremacy as a whole, all the people who are benefiting from that, they're not saying anything about it. Because they get benefits in that community. They get safety, they get security, they get perks in that community while other people don't. So since they get those perks, they think other people are wrong for not getting those perks. Or like, wait a second, maybe that's not the answer to the whole fucking world. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more work that you need to do outside of the New Age community involving your brothers and sisters who aren't in that consciousness yet. Maybe not. Maybe you're supposed to just be there on your own and that's it. And maybe that's the case too. But what I'm saying from my experience is that the New Age mentality and just being in that micro world and trapping yourself in that this is just me and that's all that needs to happen sort of world, that's a trap. And that's the wall that people run into. And that's why things aren't changing, is that because the people that are equipped to actually help people change, the ones that have done the internal work, that have cleared a lot of the bullshit out that other people in the inner cities have not done. The people who have done that work, once they do that work, they trap themselves in the communities because they're afraid still. They're afraid of being subjected to the world that is not perfect, the world that is not the New Age world. So they trap themselves in a safety net bubble that just constantly, what is that? It's like reinforces. It reinforces what they are telling, like their limited belief systems. It reinforces the scope. That's what it is. It reinforces the New Age scope. So the longer you stay in it, you get that energy back. So people are reinforcing each other's limited consciousness by cross-referencing New Age belief systems. And they're so vast, they're so out there, they're so like universal that it seems real. So this is why, like, it seems real because people who think that they're from the Pleiades are saying the same shit from people who think that they're from the Andromeda galaxy. And then those people who are from the Pleiades and the Andromeda, they think they're Andromedans, they're saying the same thing as like Eckhart Tolle and Oprah. So they think they're all the same now because they said the same shit. What they're not realizing is that same boring ass, regular ass, play school ass thoughts of reality that they just said had already been said millions of times over again by the ancestors before us. So your new age ain't new at all. It's bullshit. It's a fucking television show. It's an Alex Trebek advertisement for consciousness.